Hi, I'm Gary from Lost in the Ozarks. This is part 2 on the video on using goldenrod medicinally. In part 1, I covered how to identify and harvest goldenrod. Then I showed you how to make a tincture and infused oil. It's now late November and the tincture is finally ready. You can see the tincture is a clear to a slightly golden color, but the alcohol has been extracting the useful plant chemicals from the goldenrod we harvested for a little over 8 weeks now. Now we need to simply bottle it. But first we need to strain out all the plant material. I'm going to use a coffee filter to be sure and filter out all the fine particles of plant material and any other impurities that might have gotten on there. Once that's complete, we're ready to bottle and begin using the goldenrod tincture. So right now, let me show you how I'm going to filter it. To filter it, I'm going to slowly pour the liquid through the filter and collect it in a jar. Now I'll fill this jar up, and then I'm going to fill up a couple of tincture bottles to keep the tincture in. As you can see, as the tincture is filtered out, it's a nice golden color. Now when I get this filtered, I'm going to fill a couple of tincture bottles for use, and the rest I'll store in a cabinet inside this glass jar. I'm going to use a recycled salsa jar for storage. This is one reason to clean and keep the glass jars that you get from the grocery store. Just recycle these and you'll help keep them out of the landfill and help the environment. You'll also never have to worry about not having a jar when you need one. Now as you can see here, as it filters through the coffee filter, it's taking out any fine particles of plant matter that might be in there. And it slows down, and you may have to use a butter knife or something to stir it around a little bit. Just be sure and don't puncture your filter while you're doing it. Just stir it real easy so that it keeps flowing. So as you can see here, I've swapped out. This is our jar of tincture. And now I've swapped out and put a measuring cup under the filter. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to get enough to fill up my tincture bottles. And if there's any left, then we'll put it in a separate jar. And I'm also going to do this. I'm going to use this to squeeze out the last little bit of tincture from the plant material once it goes down a little bit. So once we get this all filtered out, I'll come back and we'll pour some into some tincture bottles, and then we'll be ready to use it. Okay, we're almost finished here. I've just taken the coffee filter and I picked it up and I'm just gently squeezing it to get the last little bit of tincture out of there around the plant material. So it kind of stopped up the coffee filter. You want to do this gently so that your coffee filter doesn't burst, because if it bursts, then you're going to have to filter it all over again. We want to try to get every good drop out of here. And there we go. So now we have our beautiful goldenrod tincture. Now we're going to put it in the tincture bottles. Now that all the tincture has been filtered, it's time to bottle the tincture. I use tincture bottles I purchased on Amazon to keep the tincture ready to use. The usual dose is 1 dropper full 1 to 2 times a day when you're feeling under the weather. But you can probably safely use it up to 4 times a day. Just be sure and start slow, as with all natural medicinal preparations, and see how your body reacts. If you experience any signs of an adverse reaction, discontinue use immediately and see a medical professional. So I'll put a link in the description to the tincture bottles, but basically I wanted to use this small measuring cup because it makes it easier to fill the tincture bottles without spilling it everywhere. So we're just going to fill these bottles up and we'll have those ready for use. So there we go. We just put the dropper heads in here. Okay, so we have our goldenrod tincture bottled and it's ready to put up. And just a few of the things that we use this goldenrod tincture for. We use it to reduce inflammation, increase urine flow, and decrease muscle spasms. It's also been used for gout, joint pain, and can be used for asthma because it decreases inflammation, and also for allergies. Now, there's some cautions to note before attempting to use this medicinally. If you're allergic to ragweed and other related plants, you could have an allergic reaction. So it would be best to avoid using goldenrod if you have these allergies. If you're currently taking a diuretic medication for fluid retention, you should avoid using goldenrod since it does increase urine flow, and it can cause your body to get rid of too much fluid. This can make you dizzy and lower your blood pressure dangerously. If you're on any medications or currently have any health conditions, you should talk to your doctor before using goldenrod or any other natural medicinal plants. They may interact with your current medications, causing unwanted results. Also remember that natural medicinal plants are never a substitute for professional medical attention when needed. So there you are. That's our goldenrod tincture. Now it's ready to put in the cupboard and be ready for use anytime we start feeling any of these conditions that we need to use it for. I'll also put a link to the first video in case you haven't watched that yet, so you can go back and watch it and see how we collected the goldenrod this fall and we made it into a tincture. So the link for that will be in the description too. If you like this video, please subscribe and follow us. We'll be making more videos, and thanks for watching.